Hello and welcome to the Final Shots podcast. It's me, James, and with my co-host.
Tara.
Doesn't just try talking.
I thought that was your intro.
No.
That's a good intro. I feel like let's just play on that.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay, fine. So it's been a few weeks. How have you been?
Myself, I have not been well.
No.
I have not been well.
COVID?
No, I wish.
You wish?
I wish. At least I know. At least I know it ends. No, I've been ill for like two months now. Maybe by the next podcast it'll be gone. It'll be gone. We'll see.
Well, that'll be next week. So I believe that you'll get better soon. But in better news, Arsenal are top of the league.
If me being ill means Arsenal winning,
no,
then I'm very happy with that.
I love Arsenal, but I'd rather you.
If I'm in a fucking hospital bed by the end of the season, but Arsenal won, it'll be worth it.
So,
do you think have you made like some kind of like sacrifice to the gods?
Shit, she's on to me. But no, yeah, so Arsenal top of the league with 15 points after 6 games. It was 5 wins in a row and then lost to Man United.
But very different from last season.
Yeah, well, last season, do you remember what happened?
I remember it started very poorly.
And why did it start poorly?
Was it 3 losses?
Yeah, 3 losses in a row, and then obviously we nearly got top 4 and didn't, which was well articulated in All or Nothing, which we've watched all 8 episodes.
So painful.
Do you want to give me an overview first?
Oh, it's a great series. It was if you didn't know what happened, it would have been shocking. But knowing what happened, it was like you could feel the doom coming, you know? You know, like in Ted Lasso, right? There's a scene, I can't remember, but he talks about the phrase, "It's the hope that kills."
Yeah.
And he's like, how very British of us, right? And that American, you know, the hope's important even when all is lost. Oh man, the hope killed this time, really, because I knew what happened, and I still kind of hoped.
You still kind of believed, right?
Because seeing them hope and seeing like it made sense. They did everything right. They did everything they could. It was just sometimes fate is not on your side.
Yeah. Well, so for those who don't know, All or Nothing was a documentary following Arsenal's season last year, which, after losing 3 in a row at the start of the season, it looked doom and gloom. But then we were favourites, I would say, to get top 4.
Yeah.
Between Arsenal and Spurs.
And like
Favourites.
a shocking turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, you see what was frustrating, right? Was it came at points where Arteta was so questioned by people, right? Rightfully so, right?
Not sure rightfully so. I think it was a bit knee-jerk, if
As
I'm
in,
honest.
oh, you know me. I obviously would never doubt. But people did. And, you know, you're taking off, like, your star player, right?
Yeah, selling Aubameyang to Barcelona for free.
For no clear reason to the outside world.
Sure.
But the point was he didn't want him there.
Yeah.
He knew, for whatever reason. And you know what? It ended up working out. And I think it was probably a great decision. And do you know what was nice? That the whole team backed him, you know? Like, throughout. And that was really interesting. So I was like, whatever decisions you make, whether they're wrong or right, in that kind of world, if you don't have people backing you, it's always going to be the wrong decision, you know?
Yeah, I think football can be quite retrospective. So, you know, the outcome paints the story.
Yeah.
Because now that we know Arsenal did make top 4, still painful to say it, we can now potentially say that maybe Arteta was naive in letting Aubameyang go without replacement. So, because with quite a young squad, you know, we went into the second half of the season, not as many numbers as we'd want. But at the same time, it came down to 2 games.
Yeah.
We had to win either the North London derby, which we lost, painful again, or we could have won at Newcastle and then lost. And now that was, you know, that was an atrocious performance, to be honest. And, you know, if we win one of those, we've got top 4. Everyone's saying, what a masterstroke that Arteta let Aubameyang go. And for the record, I think it was the right choice because he was from reports, a disruption in the dressing room, and he didn't really want to be there. Or at least he had issues with Arteta, and potentially if he stayed, it would have meant a bad dressing room and maybe would have got close to top four. So, and
yeah, that's the thing, right? We didn't make top four, but no one thought we would at the beginning.
Exactly.
No one thought we'd get even close. It was such a poor start, and losing Aubameyang didn't stop us getting top four. It started us almost getting top four. You know what I mean? It was, it's easy to say that was a loss, and it was very hard to watch because it was so close. But
it was the manner, though.
What does that mean?
The manner of how we lost it. It's not.
I thought that's what the Tottenham Stadium was called for a
No.
What is it called?
White
Hart Lane?
It was called White Hart Lane. Now it's, I think, called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Because their old stadium was White Hart Lane. Well, it's still the same place, but I think naming wise, it's the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now. So, but
also, separate note, is the Staples Centre named after Staples, the company?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm just like.
Well, it's not called the Staples Centre anymore.
What's it called?
It's called the cryptocurrency arena.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
That's mad.
I don't know. I think it's kicked in, or if not, it's kicking in next year. But yeah, it's.
I mean, Staples Centre was bad enough. Imagine like Ryman Centre.
What does Staples sell? I assume Staples.
Yeah, I thought it was like a stationery place.
Okay, so for me, I didn't really realise that was a company. Like, I know what Staples are, right?
Same.
And so for me, the Staples Centre always felt quite like historic in a name. And then when I found out it changed to cryptocurrency arena or something along those lines, I then realised Staples was just based off the company, and it really,
Staples.
in a sense, shattered my dreams, because I thought it was like how when you hear Old Trafford or Wembley, they're just names or like places or whatever. No, it's like Coke.
Yeah, Sam's Chicken.
Sam's Chicken.
Oh god.
But no, All or Nothing I thought was the near perfect drama. Some may say the perfect drama. Started poorly, lost 3 games in a row. Then we're building on our young underdogs, and they grew in the season and nearly got to top 4. And then there was doubt. Will they get top 4? Will they? And it felt like one of those dramas where you've got the struggle at the start, then you're training up at in the midway point of the movie or whatever. Then you get into climax where you're nearly at your finish line and you're struggling, but you're gonna get there. But in this story, you don't win. You don't win.
Yeah. But you know what? I feel like it was setting up perfectly for this season.
Well,
what a comeback story! Eh?
I'll be happy for top 4. Some people I think are starting to dream about the Prem, which I think is very premature talk. Well, unless Tara, you have thoughts?
Until last week, unbeaten. It's pretty good record. Top right now. Anything can happen, mate.
Do you know which teams are still unbeaten in the Premier League?
Oh,
it's testing.
Arsenal? No.
No.
Man United? No. Liverpool? No.
No.
Is anyone unbeaten?
Yes.
Brentford?
No.
Fulham?
No. I like you went from Arsenal and Man City to then.
Well, I was just thinking.
Brentford and.
I know the main teams, and I don't think any of them have been unbeaten. Because Liverpool's not unbeaten, right?
No.
Man City's not unbeaten.
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 Okay, interesting. Because I feel like in my head, I don't think they've been playing great, but they have been.
What's interesting is in 6 games, Arsenal's won 5. That sounds amazing. Right?
Yeah.
Man City's played 6 and won 4. They've just drawn 2. And I guess, up until that point, it just felt Man City had drawn 1, and they were a few points behind Arsenal. So I guess everybody was trying to overact, really. But Haaland's been a monster, and Tottenham are unbeaten as well. 4 wins, 2 draws. They're both behind Arsenal by 1 point.
But Son's giving me no fantasy points. What's the point? Who's scoring their goals?
Kane.
But not that many as well.
No, they haven't been amazing in attack.
They're not great for fantasy.
Well, it depends what weeks you have. But Perisic is meant to be quite good as a defender. He can get attacking returns and clean sheets, but there's a potentially rotation. Have you ever heard of the Pep Roulette?
No.
The Pep Roulette is the same where Pep Guardiola likes to rotate his players. So for fantasy, that's the worst nightmare because you might have Haaland, you might have De Bruyne, you might have Cancelo, or like say Kyle Walker. But Pep is notoriously known for resting his players, which is good for a manager because you know when your players need a rest. But for fantasy, you don't want Kevin De Bruyne on your team and then he's on the bench. That's a lot of money.
It's interesting because he's not been resting Haaland at all.
No.
That's
but
interesting.
he's been like flirting with it for the whole season. Like, if we have 3 games in a week, Haaland won't be able to play all games. He's played all the games so far, and
I think he's got money on his fantasy draw.
Yeah,
I really think he has. He's just messing with
you. I have to say.
Are they legally allowed to do that? Because obviously they're not allowed to bet on games. Are they allowed to have like a fantasy squad?
I know players have fantasy teams, so yeah.
Interesting.
It would be curious if they won, whether they could accept it, but I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if there's no money involved, then I guess it's fine.
So speaking of fantasy, how are things going, Tara?
You know what? I've lost every week apart from one, but I actually think I've been doing pretty well.
Okay. How's your experience?
I've got a difficult opponent. Let's just say that.
So what are the current standings so far?
So currently, I think, is there like 20 points in it? 40 points in it?
Maybe a bit.
Maybe 50 points in it?
So I've got 365 points and you've got 319.
So 46?
Perfect.
46.
But it was a lot more, like from last week.
Last week got that cheeky little 57.
Not last week.
Oh.
So last week...
Moment silence.
Yeah. Last week there was no Premier League games, which was quite sad actually.
It was a very upsetting week, and the whole country mourned it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. But more seriously, it is because Queen Elizabeth died, or Queen Elizabeth II died.
Oh, imagine! That'd be a long reign. That'd be a very long reign.
And so, out of mark of respect, a lot of sports events and just a lot of events in general got postponed, which for a fantasy manager was pretty bad news.
Also, for anyone who wants to shop at like Lidl or any shops, it's bad news.
For Monday.
For Monday, yeah.
Because they're closing all the shops for her funeral.
And also hospital appointments.
Well, this is a fantasy football podcast and sports and movies, so let's not get into it.
It was interesting how we didn't really cancel the sport when thousands of people were dying with COVID.
Well, they did get postponed.
Not really, though.
Yeah.
Kept playing throughout COVID.
Well, there was like a 3-month sabbatical.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a...
It shows the difference in my life.
There was a big period of time sports got cancelled.
But wasn't that at the end of the season anyway? So it was just like...
No. It was during the season. So we finished late. Yeah.
That must have hurt your fantasy.
I think during the first lockdown or something like that, or within those realms, football was paused. But then as everyone laxed, as less people wore masks on tubes, football started to return, basically.
A weird world we've been living in, eh?
Yeah.
A weird world.
COVID's still around, but it doesn't feel like it anymore, to be honest. But
I mean, maybe there's a new bug going around because...
I mean,
you've got patient zero.
I feel like I'm standing or sitting quite close to you, which, But how has fantasy been helping you getting into football then?
Oh, it's great.
Because it sounds like you're actually a lot more engaged.
It's great and it's awful. It's actually awful. It's not great at all. I think I'd hit a point, like we were talking about a couple of years ago, I didn't even know football was cancelled. And now, it is literally, I wake up and I think about it. In a bad way. In a very bad way. I think before, when I started liking football, I liked the players, because, I like the story behind them, We watched Son do a little video about his daily routine. It was beautiful, especially watching All or Nothing. I was, getting more involved in the Arsenal players, like Xhaka had a bit of a comeback story. I was there for all of it. And now I just hate them all. I hate them all because any player I like and I put on does rubbish. And I hate that, you know? It's like a deep betrayal.
Yeah.
It's like a very deep betrayal to me. Like, it's not just, oh, that was a bad decision. It's like, why have you purposely tried to fuck up my life? You know? What have I done to you?
Yeah, is it interesting how fantasy makes you feel this unrelentless rage?
Yeah.
And then the highs aren't that high. It's
No.
just the lows are just very low.
I think it's got better. Now we're a couple of weeks in and the gap is quite big between me and you.
Right.
But then, again, it's the hope that kills.
So you
Last
mean...
week, because I got 57 and you got 37?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
But that, now I'm angry again. Now I care again. And you know what? This 1 week sabbatical was probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I needed it, you know? So thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate it.
A parting gift.
Exactly. But I guess not, because it has kind of messed stuff about. But I think you needed that in your fantasy to shake stuff up a bit. So it was not looking good for you on your friend team.
Yeah, well, actually, the week... what was I going to do this week? I've activated my wildcard, basically.
Oh, shit.
But it's annoying because there's still a few games postponed this weekend because of, like, policing issues. Because of the funeral on Monday, or the bank holiday Monday. It means certain games couldn't go on, so like Chelsea, Liverpool. There was another game, Crystal Palace against Leeds, was cancelled because of train strikes. But the train strikes got uncancelled, or they weren't postponed. There's no more train strikes out of a mark of respect to
fuck that, man. The
Her Majesty the Queen. And so
Elizabeth.
The game is still cancelled.
I feel like we should all fucking strike, man.
So the game is still cancelled even though there's now trains. So that was a bit annoying. So there was just certain players. The United against Leeds game was cancelled, so I guess for more policing issues. And the way they chose how to cancel games was, well, firstly the United Leeds game and the Chelsea Liverpool game were on Sunday, and I think it depends on how many police they think are needed for particular games. Yeah, so they're cancelled, so it does ruin like a wild card. You know, the things that matter, like how you structure a wild card. Because currently I have no Liverpool players or no United players.
We're having a quick peek at each other's teams for the first time.
Yeah.
And what are the thoughts?
So what are your thoughts?
So just before the podcast, we secured our teams, and James was asking me, should I put in Pope or Edison? And it's very difficult. I said I couldn't give him advice because I put in Pope.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't want to sway you.
Right. So next week we'll see whether choosing Pope or Edison has gained me or Tara any points.
Yeah, I'm very glad you did that because it would be nice.
Yeah,
it'll be nice to.
I'm happy I did that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still change it on my wildcard, so.
How dare you? You said it was fixed.
No,
you can't be looking at my team and trying to play about.
No. I can't change it. I'm happy with my team. Got some weird road check like Ward Prowse, which is a player I'd never put in fantasy, but he's like a free kicker. I think he's on penalty as well. And Bowen, who was great last year, but he's been pretty rubbish. But I'm choosing fixtures, and now I have. So I started, or was it? Did I? I had 3 Arsenal players. Now I'm down to 1.
Interesting.
And I brought in Harry Kane. So let's see, because he's playing Leicester, who normally Spurs against Leicester is quite a high scoring game. So maybe having Kane will help me. But I won't captain him. I'm just going to captain Haaland.
Yeah, you've learned your
It's
lesson.
just
It's too painful not to be honest.
It's just the easiest thing to do. Captain Haaland, like he has been
insane.
just disgusting.
And insane.
He can score a hat trick at any time, basically. But yeah, I guess if you want, you can just treat me to Nando's now.
Oh wow!
If you think you've lost it already, I don't really know.
I don't.
You can.
I don't think I've lost it. I haven't even wildcarded because my team's so good. And I don't want to get rid of my own players.
I have seen you've still got Neto, which means you've lost value by 0.4.
That's alright. I've still got money in the bank.
But is your value of your team overall 100 mil?
So my issue was, well, I actually don't know how to show that.
If you go at the bottom. Right at the bottom. It says there. Oof.
So my issue though, it's not that big of a deal, right? Because if you choose good players, that's all it's about.
It's true. Points points.
Money doesn't
wins.
get you money.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look at Arsenal, how much money they've poured into their team.
And they're top of the league.
Exactly. So they have less money, but right? I don't know.
Oh right.
You need to spend money to make money.
Yes, I understand your analogy that you have to spend smartly, not spend a lot. But in this case, Arsenal have spent a fair amount. But okay, fine.
I did want to get rid of Neto. I also wanted to get rid of Saka.
Ooh.
But I had 2 transfers, and I had to. So I've got 4 people on my bench who aren't playing.
Yeah.
And I had to get rid of my other goalkeeper. So I put in Pope. And then I had, I think, Zinchenko, and he wasn't going to play. And I really didn't want to put in another Arsenal player, but I couldn't help myself.
Saliba.
And also, I don't even know, like, this is not planned out at all, so you will tell me if this is a bad decision.
Okay.
I put him in, I was looking at other players put in, and I just, I even looked at other Arsenal players put in. I'm trying to remember who else. Gabriel. I thought he could be a better shout.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a good song.
Yeah, I don't know a song for Gabriel.
Exactly. So, and I want to be able to sing the song when I win this week.
Okay, cool.
So I was torn, and I just went from my heart.
Okay. Good luck.
Do you think you'll play?
Who?
Salif.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
He's starting centre back.
I don't know. I don't know these things. I just go in my gut, and so far. It's not been paying off. It's not been paying off, but it's not been paying off. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow. That's gonna be a fun day.
Well, we're not playing tomorrow.
What?
Just before you get upset, right? Arsenal actually playing on Sunday.
Okay. Well, we'll find out on Sunday then.
Cool.
Speaking of being sad.
Yeah.
Federer.
Serena.
What?
As in, you're talking about Federer retiring, right?
Yeah.
Well, Serena's retired as well.
No. What? That's crazy.
Do you really not know?
I didn't know.
Okay, well, so Serena announced she
Was that planned?
Serena?
No, as in like, was it in the same week or?
I think it was a few weeks ago now.
I completely missed that news. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, she just said it'll be her in the US Open. She said that would be her last tournament, and well, she lost, so yeah, she went home.
Wow.
And she even I think tweeted or messaged on wherever Federer posted, said welcome to the retirement club.
Wow. Was it not confirmed until she said that, or was it confirmed?
No.
Yeah.
Everyone knew she had retired.
And then everyone apart from me.
And then Federer sent out a nice video yesterday.
Yeah.
Was it yesterday?
I think so.
It was very Federer, very emotional.
Yeah, he's just a cutie. He's just such a sweetheart.
I really thought we'd have one fairy tale Wimbledon. Because I didn't win the last time he won Wimbledon, probably like 5-6 years ago now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But no, well, Federer's not the GOAT, to be fair. But Serena probably is the GOAT.
A GOAT. He's a GOAT in our hearts.
Well, maybe in your heart.
Okay.
Nadal is the GOAT in my heart.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Even though the true GOAT probably is Djokovic.
We're less going to talk about him.
Yeah.
But everyone loves her.
Hmm?
Everyone loves Serena.
Yeah.
She is a GOAT in the heart and on the scoreboard.
No, yeah, she's amazing. But both have got very old and achieved crazy heights. Like Federer got 20, maybe 21 Grand Slams. I don't know what Nadal's on, but Nadal's a bit 1 or 2 above him.
And Serena got Will Smith and Oscar. And also a ban from the Oscars.
Hey, he got his reward. It didn't really matter. Like the ban means nothing. Like take the award away from him.
It's nice to have a bit of drama. It's nice, like no one would have watched that Oscars apart from that. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it's the most drama we've seen in the Oscars for a very long time.
Yeah, sure.
Probably the Moonlight Oscar.
That was planned.
That was planned.
That was definitely
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To shine a light off that movie, which is sad actually. We watched it in the end. No, we haven't watched Moonlight.
We have. It was a beautiful movie. Beautiful movie. Yeah. I guess we'd never watch it again.
I think I did prefer La La Land, but I think maybe it's just.
I mean, Moonlight was a
I just
better
like the
movie.
song.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
It's
I just like the songs.
Yeah, exactly. That's like saying, you know, High School Musical is my favourite movie because I like the songs.
Is it?
No, but I'm saying like.
Oh right. You'd never.
It doesn't mean that's a good movie. Of course, I'd never say that.
Well, it's amazing.
Okay.
But we watched King Richard last year at the British Film Festival, and it's coming back, right?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited. London Film Festival, here we come. We've got it all planned out. We've got how many movies to see? Like
Too many. Maybe too many, actually.
There's some exciting ones though. I'm very. What are you most excited about?
I have to say so of the movies there, potentially the most excited let me say that again. The most excited movie I am for is She Said.
Does that matter?
No, it wasn't, but I thought we'd like
we get
professionally
the
move on, but you know.
Third go or you good?
No. is She Said. Which is about the story of Harvey Weinstein and his abuse against women, and I think was it Spotlight the other movie, or you know.
So Spotlight was the one about abuse in the Catholic Church.
No, what am I thinking of then? With Charlize Theron and
about
Rupert
yeah.
Because I really enjoy that movie, and Bombshell. I really enjoy that movie, and I think She Said is going to be a similar take, and I'd just like to see how they approach this, you know, quite sensitive topic, and I think it'd be quite potentially distressing to watch, depending how they do it, which I don't want, but I'm just, you know.
Yeah, I think with I mean, I love Carey Mulligan, and seeing her in Promising Young Woman is amazing, and I think she'll really, really nail this in the same way that she did that, which obviously was a very distressing movie as well. But from the trailer as well, it looks very interesting, and it's definitely one has been well researched.
Mm-hmm.
With a story that we all know, but we probably don't know what was actually like behind the curtain of it. So
yeah, so that I'm very excited, and that's on Friday, which I think would be great. What about you, Tara?
Decision to Leave.
Okay.
Is one I'm very excited for. By Park Chan-wook, who did Old Boy. One of my favourite movies of all time.
Top 5?
Well, again, it's like, do you go enjoyment or do you go, like, is it a good movie?
Does that fall under enjoyment or good?
You know what, it falls under both. I don't know why I said that. It's a great movie and I loved it. But if we're talking enjoyment top 5, it's probably like Twilight, New Moon, Breaking Dawn Part 2, Eclipse.
And then the 5th?
Was that not 5?
Did you say 5?
Twilight, New Moon, Breaking Dawn Part 2. You see, I'm at Eclipse, yeah.
I thought there was 5 Twilight movies, but then I only heard you name 4. But
well, it's because you said Dawn Part 1 and
Shall I tell you why? It's because you said Twilight, New Moon.
Yeah.
I thought you said that as Twilight, New Moon, not
Twilight 1.
Twilight, pause, New Moon. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, fine.
But yeah, so Old Boy literally is the most insane film. Oh, probably the second most insane film I've ever seen.
What's the... Oh, right.
Titane, yeah, probably.
Titane.
From last year's film festival was insane. But...
Do you want to give a quick summary of what that was? Titane?
Spoilers. She fucked a car and gave birth to a baby car.
Yes. It was Transformers. Yes. It was like 50 Shades of Transformers mixed together.
Transformers 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. It was great. It was a good movie. It wasn't Old Boy good, but it was very good.
Oh, do you not think it was Old Boy good?
No.
The more I think about that movie, it was I don't want to say best, but the most interesting experience I've had of a movie ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And...
I mean, people walked out.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
And it was quite a good film.
It was a great film.
Like, it wasn't just
It was a great film.
outrageous for the sake
No,
of it.
no. I agree. It was actually a really good film.
Like, even in Oldboy, like, it is quite outrageous.
Oh,
and
very
twist.
outrageous. But I would say Oldboy is just a better film.
It's got a better structure. Yeah, that's true.
And it stays with you, you know?
Well, Titan stays with you more.
I know, but it's less of an enjoyable watch.
I would
Oldboy is
rewatch
fucked up,
Oldboy
yeah.
again.
It's like, honestly, just incredible.
But
Up
if you
there,
had
best
people
movies of
over,
all
I'd
time.
rather watch Titan and see their reaction on it.
But
Because both
Decision to
have
Leave.
outrageous twists,
yeah.
right?
Was there a twist in Titan?
Okay, fine. Sorry, it's just outrageous.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into it, but Oldboy is very, very good. But Decision to Leave seems quite tame compared.
Yeah.
We'll see if it is tame. I don't know if how.
We're
how they
expecting a
advertise
twist,
it.
though, right?
Well, no, I don't know. I mean,
I am.
so we watched Handmaiden in advance of Decision to Leave, and there was spoilers again. Don't listen to this if you care about spoilers. There's a twist, and
It was out at like 2016 or 14.
True.
You know,
True.
had 5 to 6 years to watch it. No, 7 to 5.
75.
Well, if it's at 2014, it'll be 8 years. Sorry, and then 16 will be 6. So 6 to 8 years. I can't do maths.
It's just a weird way to say it. 75 rather than 5 to 7.
Well, it's 6 to 8. Anyway, ignore me.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna be the ill one. I feel like I've got some brain fog, and it's. Are you ill now?
My throat is a little tickly, I have to say.
But yes, Handmaiden, again, an incredible film. I didn't think it would be that good. So Decision to Leave.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, because it's like a crime thriller.
Yeah, with like romance, right?
Okay,
It's
there's 100% a twist. It's crime thriller. What he's shown us before of Handmaiden and Oldboy, there's definitely a twist.
It looks like this woman killed her husband, right? And then he's trying to solve the case, and it looks like he's got to fall in love with her, but she's the one that killed the husband or something. I don't know.
Should we bet a bubble tea on twist no twist?
No, I believe there's a twist.
Oh, okay.
I believe there's. He's like the M. Night Shyamalan of Korea.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's a good description.
Apart from good.
No.
Well, no, he's good. It's just, you can't do that to Avatar and expect to get away with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he's had a redemption. Split was pretty good.
Not that good enough for us to forget.
But then
Never
Sixth
forget.
Sense surely gives you a bit of leeway. Maybe.
I mean, yeah, he's got his leeway, and I respect the guy. I'm just saying. Park Chan-wook hasn't done that yet.
I think another movie that we're going to watch that's worth mentioning is The Whale. I literally know nothing about it. I know Brendan Fraser's in it and has had great reviews. Do you know anything more of like the story or?
No, not really. I think it's I've got high hopes. I'm not going to put my hopes too high. It's just nice to see Brendan Fraser getting great roles again. And I'm excited to see it.
Just something like.
It feels very film festival-y.
Because you were telling me like he's been having or had a rough time recently. Or...
Yes. Well, not recently, the
no,
past
not
like
recently.
20 years, right? Because he was assaulted by a film producer and then kind of blacklisted in Hollywood. And then he came out and spoke about it, like within
Was that
the Me
recently?
Too movement.
Oh,
Yeah. Like, obviously Me Too was kind of a lot about women, mainly about women and their abuse in Hollywood. But him, I think he was one of the few men who came out and also said things. But again, the way male abuse is treated is very different to female abuse.
Yeah.
And I don't think after Me Too, things were much better for him until recently. He's definitely been getting more roles, but this is obviously, this is huge. And he just seems like such a nice guy. That's what everyone is saying. I loved him in The Mummy. I loved him in Scrubs.
Nice.
A defining role in Scrubs. And so it's
I
just
didn't
nice to
realise
see
he
him
was in
do well.
Scrubs.
He was great in Scrubs.
Wow.
It was honestly, he was in one of the one of the episodes that definitely made me cry. So,
Oh.
what a great show Scrubs was, man. You missed out.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
You really, really missed out. So, have you been watching any good TV series?
Well, you've been watching it with me, so.
that's so fun to make a podcast with you.
It's a good question to ask.
What do we talk about when we talk all the time? You know.
Well, recently Game of Thrones.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. You watch it and then you talk about it. That's how it works.
But yeah, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon.
Yes.
So it's based in the Game of Thrones or the Westeros world about the Targaryen rule when there was like I don't know, how many years? 50, 70?
I think it's Daenerys' great 8 times great ancestors.
Okay, so not 50 years.
No.
No, okay, fine. They still have well, actually, Daenerys had dragons, but dragons are still around. Are there many though? Because we've only seen like 2.
Yeah, so this isn't the peak of the dragon.
Okay.
But I think they say there's maybe 8 dragons left or something.
Okay.
And then after that, I don't know how long after, the dragons go extinct, the Targaryen rule goes down, and then we're, modern day Westeros, where Daenerys finds his eggs.
So you've read the books, not there was a book on this, but...
There actually was.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but basically this is an interesting show because it's based off a non-fiction book, in quotation marks. So George R.R. Martin, bless his soul, instead of actually finishing the book series he started...
He's never going to finish.
Yeah, we'll see. No. I have people get angry at him. I don't think that's the way he gets motivated, If you're listening, George, we love you, we respect you. Take your time, do what you like, but we believe in you, Clearly the negativity isn't motivating him because he hasn't written a word of it. What he has spent his time doing is writing, I think Fire and Blood, or House of the Dragon it might be called, but it was a non-fiction book about the history of the Targaryens.
Okay.
So starting with, I think, Aegon the Conqueror, so like way back. And then going through this period of history, which is the period with Viserys, my bad. Viserion was the dragon, right?
Yes.
Viserys, King Viserys with Rhaenyra as his daughter. And it's very hard to avoid spoilers because obviously they're out there, but I don't want to read, it's different from Game of Thrones because Game of Thrones, obviously I want to read the book. This one I don't really want to read the book before because it's I want the story to be fiction in my head, you know? The way non-fiction...
You don't want to know what's
different.
coming either.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want it to be this isn't what happens, I don't know. But, Rhaenyra jumps off a cliff and dies, or whatever. I don't want to find out like that. I want to see it, I want to understand what's going on in her thoughts and heads or whatever. And it's interesting because a lot of people have been saying, just because of the fiction aspect, with Game of Thrones, obviously the book was better than the series. The series is incredible.
Do you agree with that?
Cool. For sure. With most things, the book is always going to be better because you just have so much more lore there and time to develop characters,
So to put you on the spot, is there a movie series or just movie that the movie is better than the book?
Yeah, I think it's just harder to find. Harry Potter, maybe?
Wow.
It's hard.
Harry Potter?
That's a maybe. Just because the movies do such a great job. And there's so much that they miss that's better in the books. Oh, no, maybe the books are better. Oh, I don't know.
I'm so surprised you didn't say
I don't know. But this is this House of the Dragon, people are saying it's way better than the books. Just because of that non-fiction aspect. But yeah, very hard to avoid spoilers. I didn't want to tell you, but there's also, in Game of Thrones itself, there is a spoiler. A huge spoiler. Right. I've managed to avoid it, but I almost saw it. There's a scene where Joffrey's talking about the history of the Targaryens.
Oh, right.
And he fully says something bad.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it is, because I paused it very, very quickly. But, yeah.
Did you find out on Reddit, and they're
I think I was just scrolling on Twitter, and the video came up.
So, have you found... Because obviously this is a very different experience to you watching Game of Thrones the first time. So, for the record, me watching both Game of Thrones and The House of the Dragon, haven't read any of the source material. I don't know what to expect. You, on the other hand, watched Game of Thrones the first time, literally when it came out, episode week by week or whatever it was on Sky, but you knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
like Ned's head getting chopped off, or Jaime. So, well, actually, no, that's revealed very quickly. But like Bran, getting pushed, whatever. Whilst here, have you enjoyed the mystery, even though potentially the quality isn't better, or is the quality comparable?
You know what? I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving it. But what I found interesting, just in terms of watching experience, because I feel like that's what you're asking. There's so many names. It's so hard to figure out. Like, you know, like when we'd watch Game of Thrones, it'd be really funny when people would be calling like Daenerys Khaleesi or whatever. Like, it's fun to meme on people not figuring out stuff. You have Rhaenyra and then like Rhaenys.
Who's
like,
Rhaenys?
The queen who was never queen or whatever.
Oh, right, okay.
It might not be Rhaenys or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like confusing. Like so confusing. Obviously, especially with the Targaryens, there's so many Aegons. I'm trying to figure out which Aegon's like Aegon. Viserys, obviously, is, you know, in Game of Thrones, there's a Viserys as well.
Yeah.
You know?
But he was named after him, right?
Yeah, but it's confusing. It's confusing. And, you know, I actually watched it first with you, and then I rewatched a couple of episodes with my dad. And watch it again, I realised how much I'd missed because I hadn't figured stuff out. You know, like with...
So Otto?
No, that was fine. But like with... Is it Corlish? No. You know, the crab... Not the crab guy. The black guy with the white dreads.
Okay.
Lord Corlish?
Possibly. This guy?
Yeah, Lord Corliss, yeah.
Valerion.
Yeah, so the Valerians. So that was interesting because at first I just assumed he was a Targaryen because of like the white hair.
No, yeah. Oh, wait. No, he was just a Valyrian blood, right?
Yeah, but I assume, like, I feel like you did as well. Don't try and read
No, I didn't.
Don't try and read her history.
They made it clear they were Targaryens and they...
Yeah, but I'm saying initially when you first see him. You assume he's a Targaryen, he's got white hair.
Oh, possibly.
But that he's not like on the throne Targaryen, he's just like a cousin Targaryen.
Possibly.
But then you find out there's this whole different house.
Possibly, yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting. It's just it's interesting to. It's just such a great world, and I think everyone was a bit worried they weren't going to do it justice, and expectations were very low, which is always good for a show. It fucking smashed them. It really. I think everyone's loving it. Everyone is absolutely loving. Is it Millie Alcock as Rhaenyra? Yeah. She's so great.
She's really good.
In the most recent episode. Alicent was just, you know, everyone's just great in it. I just love it. In particular, not shockingly, because he's always been a great actor. I was very worried about having Matt Smith in, like, Westeros. You know?
So, Matt Smith has the sort of, like, bad brother or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like Matt Smith doesn't really look like a bad guy. And I still haven't gotten over it, actually.
So,
He's quite good in it. He is quite good.
Remembering Last Night in Soho?
Yes.
So he was a bad guy who initially seemed like the good guy, and there's a twist, and then you realise he was a bad guy, which I thought was great. And he did that very well.
Like Bo Burnham and...
Yeah. But he nailed it for me. He really does. And also, you're wrong, like, no offence.
Thank you. So it's good to hear.
He isn't, like, the bad guy, right? In Game of Thrones, it's never like that. It's always complicated, right? He is very bad, but he also has,
He's
like,
as
good
bad
traits.
as Jaime Lannister is original Game of Thrones.
Exactly. He's no Joffrey.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
He's pretty bad, but he's no Joffrey. You know, and what's interesting is seeing the struggle for him between wanting power and the love, maybe too much love for his family, you know? Because, like, he could have easily done so many more snaky moves. Like, when he had his dragon there and he just gave her the egg, you know?
Yeah.
If he wanted, he could have just killed her.
But that's setting the whole war.
Of course, but he seemed like he didn't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
He just kills her, then he's the heir. Or, you know, maybe poison her, do it, like, subtly. Like, he's lived his whole life, she's lived her whole life being, like, a competition for him to be heir. He could have, like, killed her when she was a baby, you know? He could kill the king. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he could do all these things. He's not in a position where he couldn't not do these things. And he doesn't really want it, you know? He wants power, but it's like, it's complicated. Like, you know, in that moment where he's talking with Corlys about his brother, and Corlys says something like bad against the king. And he's like, wait, I can say that, I'm his brother.
But that's such,
I know.
like...
He also fucking said that, like, made fun of the dead kid, you know? Like, he's not a good guy, but I'm just saying he's complicated.
Yeah, okay.
You know? That's why we love the show.
And he's very Targaryen, liking his niece. Do you think he actually likes...
Yeah, I think so.
Rhaenyra?
Mate, you're worse than me.
Rhaenyra?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's a power play? So in the recent episode, he took her to a brothel.
Yeah.
Was going to have sex and then seemed to like snap out of it.
Yeah.
And then asked his brother Viserys, you know, because basically Viserys is trying to get Rhaenyra married as a political move to strengthen his hold of Westeros.
Yeah.
Do you think he likes... So does Matt Smith or...
Matt Smith,
Damon actually likes Rhaenyra?
Yeah,
or
I think for sure. It's both.
Both, yeah. It's definitely a power move. It's just whether you believe he has feelings. Because in the very first episode, when you put that necklace on, I have to say, I knew it was another Jaime and Cersei part 2.
I just, you know, what I liked about this episode was there was like 3 different sex scenes. And they were all done very differently. And it was like almost like a masterclass in like what sex scenes should be like. It was interesting because it was also directed by a woman. I feel like you could tell. Like, so you had the sex scene with her and Damon, which wasn't a sex scene, they didn't have sex, but woo! It was like very passionate, very tense. And then you had Alicent and the King, which is horrible.
That was disgusting.
It's really horrible. But I also think it was so, what do you call it? So realistic. And, you know, horrible in a way. You know, like, the king isn't necessarily painted to be this bad guy, right? But in that world, and also in this world we live in as well, that's not an uncommon relationship.
The expectancy of sex at any moment's
It's
notice.
a woman's duty, right? Or at least, you know, it shouldn't be, but in this, for her it is. And, you know, I think what I liked as well, you realise in this episode, Alicent, who, for some reason, and I don't really know whether this is just our inherent kind of view on people and women in particular, or maybe this is mine, and maybe I'm alone in this, but I think the episode before, it was such a betrayal that she was with the king chose to marry her, to Rhaenyra, and, you know, you're seeing everything from Rhaenyra's point of view, like her mum's just died, and then she's kind of sneaked her way in to now become her stepmom. Like, that's fucked. And then you see this episode and you're like, wow, like, this is a girl, a young girl, who was basically prostituted out by her father. To, like, get this old guy to like her. And, you know, her view of it, bless her, she just came and she, like, brought in a book to read him and talked to him about his, like, little Legos, you know?
But it's better he married her than the kid.
Yeah, no, of course, right? But, like, you know, it still wasn't her choice. Like, she could never have said no to the king. He never even asked her, right? He said, I'm marrying this bitch. And for her, not only did she not want to marry him, now she's lost her only friend, probably all her friends in this world. It was like, there's a real beautiful moment where her and Rhaenyra kind of understood each other for a second. They just held hands. It was lovely. But yeah, that one. And then the last one was her and your man, what was his name?
Cole.
You see, that's a sexy name, isn't it?
Cole.
Damon.
But that's his surname, right?
Yeah.
So
But I think maybe
it's
like
Targaryen.
triggering stuff in my brain because Damon obviously Vampire Diaries.
Oh, right, okay.
The rebellious brother. Who's like bad boy. For sure.
The most opposite of Matt Smith.
I think he's good at it.
But he's not a bad boy.
Well, I think
Damon is meant to be
he pulls it off very
Damon
well.
Targaryen is meant to be a bad boy. He does not pull it well. He's not a bad boy.
But then Cole, in my head, is like Cole from Charmed, who's like the axis of all evil, who is hot as fuck.
Have I seen it?
No, not yet. But yeah, I don't think you ever will finish Charmed.
No.
But yeah, that scene was so sweet. I love that. I really, really love that. And it was very nice after the Damon scene to be like, okay, this is sexy, but it's toxic. And this was just like sweet and like, don't worry, give me a look.
She used him.
Okay, so that's where...
You're ignoring the fact that...
So obviously there's a huge power dynamic there. But I think as viewers, what we're meant to assume is that he wants it as well. I can understand that if it was shot in a different way, like, it's not like she's like, hey, do you want to have sex with me? Like, you can say no, I won't kill you. You know what I mean? They don't have that conversation. And it's probably good to have those conversations. But I do think as a viewer, you're meant to see his hesitancy, not as, oh shit, like, I don't actually want to do this, she's making me do it. It's more, in my head anyway, and I think that's what you're meant to see, is his hesitancy of, crap, like, I really don't want to, what do you call it?
Dishonour my family and...
Yeah, deflower the fucking princess or whatever. And my duty, right, to protect her. But also really well bang her. Yeah. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, I think they've played enough with their relationship to firstly show them as good friends. Secondly, to be like, they both find each other attractive. And this is a decision for both of them. That's what I felt.
But what I feel is you're focusing too much on him and not focusing on her, where so I don't know if I believe this, but I feel Cole could be like actually endgame with Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
But after, quite a troubling situation with her uncle, she wasn't in maybe the best state to go have sex with someone I feel like she actually potentially likes. And so she's using him as sort of like her, what's it called? Rebound.
Yeah.
And it felt really off.
I did not feel that.
On that.
I get what you're saying. Like, she was clearly upset. But for me, and again, to me, it was just the way it was done. It felt very much like, firstly, because they drew it so long out with the clothes.
He had a lot of clothes. I get it's kind of sexy taking clothes off.
I mean, that was not a sexy
when
scene.
you've got like 10 coats on, or a shield, a sword.
But that's why I liked it, right? Because obviously, with the Damon scene, and most of these scenes you see, like, it's so passionate, right? And it's so non-practical. They were making sure, like, he didn't rip his clothes, they were, like, carefully putting stuff down. Didn't want to make too much noise, didn't want people finding out. Like, it was, and that's what made it sweet, because also, in my head anyway, that showed this wasn't a snap decision for her. Whether or not it was impulsive, it wasn't a snap decision. This was her purely saying, this is something I want to do, Like with Damon, he made her kind of realise that she wanted to have sex with him.
Okay.
And that's maybe partly why he backed off, because he wanted to be in control.
In general or sex with him?
With him.
Cool.
Or at least opened her up to that thought, right? Because that was never in her head before, because like she was closing down that part of her. That she was like, you know what I mean? And then it was like, she was like, no, this is something I want. And when with Damon, that's when it turned, right? But when she wanted it as well, he was like, nah, fuck that. But for her, it was like, oh crap, I do want this. And you know what? I do like Kristen Cole.
He is quite hard to get. I mean, if we talk about looks though, like, as much as I feel her intentions weren't necessarily the best when she then obviously had sex with Cole.
Yeah.
If we talk about looks though, like,
Good-looking
Cole
couple.
is killing Damon out of the park. From Vampire Diaries or
Hey.
Do you not agree?
I don't know.
He is more of a
Discussion
Stefan
for
type.
another day. It's true.
Which I don't like, because I do like the Damon type. Damon Vampire Diaries, by the way.
But if Damon's your uncle...
Yeah.
Yeah.
A quick note on Sir Otto.
Uh-huh.
The actor called, I can't pronounce this, Rhys Ifans?
I would assume Reese.
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 Ifans. Reese is, okay, cool, fine. He's Welsh, right?
Yeah.
Reese. Okay, fine. Reese.
To be fair, it does look
Reese
like a name.
Evans, maybe.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. It says he's the son of teacher parents Betty Wynn and Erwin Evans. So then maybe he just spells it differently.
Yeah. Right, Reese. Sir Otto, dad of the Queen, Alison.
So don't make this like you're the one that discovered it.
I'm not.
Okay.
Taro kindly informed
Okay, thank you very much. I need the credit.
That he is Spike from Notting Hill. Spike being the like dopey roommate. With,
an
like,
iconic role.
Oh no, he was amazing.
Role.
He was great. I couldn't believe it's him, and he's also in a less, amazing role. He was Dr. Kirk Connors, the Lizard Man from Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1. Oh no, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man.
Right, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Again, an iconic role. How dare you say it's not iconic?
Iconically bad, yeah.
Oh, how dare you.
It was terrible. The lizard looked rubbish.
Well, that's not his fault.
That's a good point.
And also...
But Tobey Maguire was also not very good as Spider-Man. Sorry, not Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield. Terrible.
Wow.
Do you like him as Spider-Man?
I mean, have you seen him in the new Spider-Man? I think he's probably the best in the new one.
Over Tom Holland?
Yeah.
No.
I just for the I feel like comeback of it.
Because he was so bad, now he's acceptable. I can give him a participation award, but he really wasn't that good.
Wow. I think underrated, definitely the worst of the three, but underrated. For sure. He was the worst of the three Spider-Man, you're right. Spider-Man. As movie goes as well, that they were the worst, which didn't help him, but yeah. You've also forgotten, he was Xenophilius Lovegood in Harry Potter.
Wow.
Again, an iconic role. But, for me, what's confusing is all three of those roles, 4 now, I would not have thought he was the same guy in any of them.
Yeah.
And it just, Hot Fuzz as well.
Who's in Hot Fuzz?
He's like one of the policemen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've forgotten his name in it, but he's also in the other of the Cornetto trilogy ones as well.
Shaun of the Dead.
The one after World's End, I think.
Not sure.
He's like one of the I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. No, that's Viserys. Viserys is the guy from Hot Fuzz.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. But again, another guy I didn't recognise.
Yeah.
So there we go. Who'd have thought, hey?
Yeah.
Who'd
Amazing.
have thought? I think that's what Game of Thrones was great at, and House of the Dragons clearly is as well, is the casting,
Apart from Matt Smith.
I really disagree with you there.
I'm not saying that.
That was my first thought going in, but he's been such a joy because it's a shock,
I just can't take myself out of seeing Matt Smith on the screen.
Well, I thought that was the case, but for me, I can. So maybe give him a bit more time. More time because he's been doing a stunning performance, I think.
And I think it goes again on the point of I just don't think Matt Smith is good as I don't see him as a bad guy, basically. I'm not saying Damon is a bad guy, but he's meant to be like at least an anti-hero, right?
He's definitely the bad guy. He's a bad guy, but he's not evil, right? That's right. Yeah, you're right. He's definitely he's it's like Damon Damon Targaryen.
Yeah.
Bad boys. Love it.
So yeah, next episode's on Sunday, so we'll watch it on Monday. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm very looking forward to that. So Sunday, Arsenal game.
Yeah.
It's going to be 4-0 to Arsenal, and then nice little Game of Thrones.
Sounds amazing.
I'm very excited for it, and then maybe next week podcast.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
Week 2 in 2 more weeks. Back-to-back weeks. That'd be great.
Maybe. I'll see if I survive. My plan is to at least survive this illness until the film festival. We'll definitely go to the festival.
That'll be good. I'll have a morning podcast for you.
Do you think they'll stop football for me?
I reckon they'll stop the film festival for you.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so sweet.
Actually, no, they won't. They'll just have your face. Tara, the film creator.
Will you at least have like a pause in the podcast for me?
Yeah. I won't start the podcast the way we normally do. We'll just be like, Actually, I don't know.
A moment's silence.
I will have my Nando's. I'll eat
That's
Nando's.
so sad.
Opening the podcast, I'll film it for the first time with my Nando's plate. This is for you, Tara. This is for you.
Can you leave like a little batch of pieces that are free from me?
Yeah, because I wouldn't touch them
Untouched?
anyway.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, that sounds great. Well, I'm excited for the next
Let's
podcast.
throw for some peri salted chips as well. You know how like you normally put stuff in graves? Like
Yeah.
you put a bit of dirt, I'll put peri salt.
That's beautiful.
No.
Okay, well, tune in next week to see that.
Okay. It's been fun.
It's been fun.
Signing out.
Signing out.